You know, the idea of underground bunkers and tunnels are nothing new. American cities like Boston and Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., they're full of underground rooms and labyrinths and series of tunnels. And the idea is sound. If you're transporting people or maybe doing things that you don't want people to see, you go underground. So I get it. I mean, from the Revolution days, it makes sense. Well, other countries have had bunkers too. The Germans were real big on underground. They had underground factories. And that makes sense too. It can't be seen from the skies. So the planes flying overhead can't bomb them. I get it. Makes perfect sense. The Vietnamese were really big underground. Theirs weren't so elaborate. They just dug. They didn't have a whole lot of money to throw at this. So they dug tunnels and, I mean, they had whole rooms under there. Underground, we're talking about. Again, out of sight, out of mind. By the 1950s and 60s in America, it became the big fear was nuclear annihilation. And the money was available for individuals now to build underground bunkers in their yards. And I would assume that they started out as just a room. You know, you could be safe from the nuclear fallout. Well, how long are you going to live in this room? But that became kind of a fad, and those who were affluent enough and had the money. And again, the idea is sound. I get it. And I can understand this if you had like the inlet/outlet either in your home through the floor system or right in the backyard or something, where worst case scenario, you can zip down there. Now, modern homes in America, a lot of them are putting storm shelters under the floors of the garage. The trouble with that is, well, let's say there's a worst case scenario and a tornado comes and crushes your house. Now everything is collapsed on top of your trap door that you went into. How do you get out? Is anybody going to know that you're in there? So you're sitting there with your bottle of water. There's been a tornado, so the cell phones don't work. It's not like you can call somebody. Hey, I'm in my garage, but I'm under the floor. You know, you got to come dig me out of here. Maybe the car gets turned sideways ways and now it's on top of the hatch, you know. And well, that ain't a good thing. More to the point in this video, I'm talking about these underground bunkers that people are having, and they're getting rather elaborate. And this started, I suppose it's been ongoing, but especially in the 90s and the early 2000s, continuing to present day, people have gotten awfully fancy with these things. There are places, I know I watched a documentary on the state of Kansas in particular. I'm sure they're all over the place. But in this documentary in Kansas, people have gotten carried away. They've got an armed guard on site. They've got it fenced off. They have massive multi-ton steel doors that are designed, you know, to work on a pivoting thing where you can go in there. More in case of a end of the world type scenario, or the world as we know it, perhaps. Like an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse that zaps. That's like a nuclear bomb that detonates over the ground. And it zaps out anything connected to the grid or electrical, is my understanding. So modern day life as we know it is, at least temporarily, non-existent. So these people went to Kansas, people of wealth, and took over these, they used to be military installations. They were shelters on a large scale, and they've been abandoned. So these people, I assume, bought these shelters from the government and have decked them out. Some of them have swimming pools, libraries, and wet bars, you name it. The trouble with that is, in the event of a nuclear disaster, how are you going to get to Kansas? Is the assumption that you're just going to get in your car and drive there, or hop on a private jet and fly there? Do you think they're going to let you fly? I mean, we saw on September 11th, 2001, they shut down the air traffic. That was just for a terrorist event. Imagine an EMP. Your planes aren't flying anyway and your vehicles aren't running. Let's suppose you can get there. Now you have to get into the place. Do you think your armed guard, in the event of a nationwide catastrophe, is going to be reporting for duty because you're paying him whatever it is that you're paying him? You think he's going to show up for work? Maybe even if he wanted to show up, could he get there? Can you get the electronic gate open now? Mind you, we've been zapped by an EMP. Can you get the gate open to the bunker? But let's suppose, just for the purposes of this video, that you can get there and you can get inside to have your swimming pool and your wet bar, and light is the same as up top. It's just we're down below here now. All right, we're just gonna pretend that that's so. Who's gonna run all this stuff? Who's gonna maintain it? How long are you gonna live under there? When is it gonna be safe to come out? I'm having a hard time dealing with the mental. You got a lot of people with a lot of money that have had a lot of work and investment go into this. You don't know how you can get there. You don't know if you can get in. And supposing you can, how long are you going to stay? And who's going to maintain the systems? All these things are run electronically. Air purification and water purification, and this does this for this. What if something malfunctions? Have you been there and tried it out? Took the kids on the weekend? And maybe they have. I don't know. I'm just saying. But again, we're going to pretend that you can get there and live your life just as you were prior to whatever disaster. Okay. How long are you going to stay there again? And you've got it barricaded up with these fortified doors. Some of them supposedly sealed in the event of chemical warfare or whatever. You are safe. Okay. Well, number one, how do we know that these doors are foolproof? Have you tried it? And if so, how? How have you tried a chemical attack and know that it can't penetrate the seams around these doors? How are you going to call the company in the event of a disaster? You suppose somebody's going to answer? My door is leaking. I got noxious gas coming in. We need somebody out here right now. Get right on that, sir. I mean, help me understand. But we're going to go with this. You're in and you're safe. Well, they have ventilation shafts that go up to the surface. You can't live underground without proper ventilation of fresh air. And they have systems for this. What happens if someone comes up and discovers one of these tubes, these air shafts? Just because, why should we be up here suffering and you're down there living in luxury? And they put a trash bag over the ventilation tube. Well, now what? You're going to suffocate like a rat. Would you really want to live underground for an extended period of time? Months? Years? Like a cockroach or a mole? Even they come out and get fresh air and sunlight from time to time. How long are you going to exist under there? And what quality of life will you have? Even with your swimming pool and your wet bar. Would you really want to live that way? And let's say that it's safe, somehow magically that it's safe to come to the above ground world. You'd want to live in that world, a post-apocalyptic type, post-disaster. There is no electricity. There is no travel as we knew it. Are you that scared of death? And maybe you are. Okay, I guess. I don't quite understand. It just seems to me like it's a lot of investment and a lot of work. I don't even see how you're going to get there. How are you going to get to Kansas? In the event of a nuclear disaster / EMP / terrorist attack where nobody can fly. How are you going to get there? I don't get it. I mean, you do what you want. It's your money and it's your time. Help me understand. Is it just this illusion of safety? You tell me. Put it in the comment thing. Am I missing something? I don't understand it. I do find it fascinating though, hence this video. I don't know. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time and your comments. If you want to like and the subscribe with the share. Do you believe in life after love? Not that share. I don't know. Thank you for watching.